So I still haven't figured out how to do titles, so we're going to start with a little introduction to the bottom there as we go along. Staggered Stance Romanian Deadlift. So we're going to go for 10 each side here. What I'm trying to do is really hinge to the hips. So there is a soft bend in both legs. I'm not locking out either leg here. I tend to put a bit more weight to the back, the rear leg. And again, staggered stance, my big toe on the rear leg is just slightly in line or a little bit behind the heel of my front leg. So I'm not doing a split squat stance or anything too drastic here. When I lower the weight, it should track alongside my front leg and straight up and down in front of my rear leg. Again, really trying to emphasize or focus on the hip hinge. On this one, we're going to go again 10 each side. So another thing I'm trying to do here is when I get to the top position, I'm trying to squeeze through the glutes or tuck the hips under. You'll keep hearing me say this, but I don't want to overarch my back at the top here. I really want to get the glutes firing at the top. So I'm trying to really create a posterior tilt to the hips to the top position. So again, especially if we're doing that, our shoulders shouldn't end up behind our hips when we're at the top. So the next one then from here is going to be the one arm pullover with the one arm glute bridge. So again, a lot of glutes on this one. So I'm keeping my arms almost straight, or basically I want to keep the elbow bend. If I have an elbow bend consistent, that I'm not bending or straightening my arms throughout the movement. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to reach back behind my head, and as I come up, I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping my tummy flat, or I'm even actually almost doing like kind of a little crunch, but basically, again, it's the emphasis on the posterior tilt. So I'm trying to tuck the hips under. I'm not trying to overarch my back here. And again, that'll limit how high my hips come off the ground. But I really find this works, this is great for, I guess, activating or recruiting the glute muscles. So on the foot, on the side where the foot's on the floor. So in this case, it's my right leg, right foot's on the floor. So I'm really squeezing through the right glute here to try and keep my hips stable as I move the arms. So again, with this one, we're just going to go for 10 each side. And what I'm trying to do here as well is make sure that the arms are kind of going at a steady kind of cadence or tempo. And I'm not trying to rush this. If we rush this movement, we're not going to engage as well through our core, or through our glutes, through our hips. So 10 each side. Going to get the timer, the watch ready for this one. We're going to do a push-up hold. Ideally, we're doing the push-up hold in the bottom position. So I'm more or less doing a tricep push-up here. So keep my elbows close to my rib cage. I'm even squeezing my elbows into my sides here. When I get to the bottom position, I want to try and squeeze the glutes and tuck the hips under. There we go. A little bit less of an arch. So if we're struggling here, maybe even just hold the front leaning rest or the top position of a push-up. We're going to try and progress that, try and come down even a little bit. So we're keeping a bit more tension to the arms here. Again, it's really important to keep the core active, that we're not overarching our back too much or kind of sagging through our core. So 30 seconds here. We're going to get a break, and then it's back into the staggered stance Romanian deadlift next. So I was saying to a few people earlier in the online session we were doing this workout, was trying to really imagine someone's trying to almost pull you backwards. So you're trying to push your hips back. It's a bit more subtle here. But really when I'm leaning forward, or when I'm lowering that weight, I don't want that weight to be lowered out in front of my front leg. So again, we should be hinging back in such a way that weight travels alongside my front leg, not way out in front of it. So really emphasize the hinge. And again, legs aren't locked out. There's like a slight knee bend in the front leg, a little bit more of a knee bend in the back leg. So again, digging the heel down. You might need to adjust your foot position to make sure you are getting the glutes working. But get yourself into a position where you can really keep those the hips and the glutes tucked underneath. So again, basically posterior tilt, which means we're not letting or allowing our lower back to arch too much. Again, back to the push-up hold. Staying as low as I can. There's actually a bit more movement here than I thought there was. But even little things, like I said, trying to squeeze your elbows in towards your ribs. Trying to stabilize here. 30 seconds, we'll get on to our final round for A. timer ready here. Next we're going to do a little block of core work. So it's kind of, I guess I'm mimicking, or I'm certainly just robbing the idea in terms of work rest from the lactate retention squats. But what we're going to do here is going to do 30 seconds of crunches, nothing fancy. When that's done, then we're going to get a dead bug position or static dead bug position. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So we're going to get a 30 seconds rest. But again, knowing how much these are going to suck, I'm only going to do 3 rounds. And as I'm kind of adding this commentary on after the event, 3 rounds is definitely enough. So 30 seconds of crunches. Again, try and push the lower back into the floor. When the crunches are done, then you'll see in a second, we're going to get into our static dead bug. Again, I think roughly I'm getting in around kind of 32, 33 repetitions here. And trying to maintain that rep range for the 3 sets. So there's a few more seconds here to go. And when these are done, then we're going to transition straight into the dead bug position. So point my fingers to the sky, feet off the floor, trying to push my lower back into the ground. Definitely as I was getting tired, I found it a little more of a challenge, and I had to really kind of force myself to push my lower back down, because it'd be very easy just to kind of like hang out here and not really tense anything. But we want to get to as much out of these workouts as we possibly can. So really be honest with yourself and try and push your lower back hard into the ground and really, really go after that brace. So 30 seconds here, we'll get ourselves a 30-second rest. So we're getting into the last round of these. Again, definitely feeling them in the stomach. Getting a bit tired now, so trying not to reach too much with my neck for this one. Even though we are getting tired, trying to take as much momentum out of it as possible. Get a squeeze to the core muscles. I'm trying to shoot for over 30 reps for this round. Starting to slow down for those last 10 seconds. We're still trying to push. Getting it done. We'll give the abs a rest after this block, so we just keep pushing through. A few more seconds to go. Then from there into our dead bug. So with the dead bug, what I want to do is I want to push my lower back hard into the ground again. So I'm really fighting on this one. This was slow, or felt like a very long 30 seconds. Just pushing down hard. Had to answer the doorbell there. Classic home editing. So 30 seconds here on this one, and we're done with the abs. Just stick with it. Push it back down. Brace. And now we can just relax for a few seconds. As you can see, felt that one. So the reward for that is a little bit of arm work coming up next. Getting ready for some towel curls here. We can do any kind of variation of curls really. You can do one arm curls, one arm towel curls, kettlebells, dumbbells, whichever. Just gonna get, I have 12 here, but depending on weight you have, 12 to 15 repetitions. So again, just opted for the towel curls. I find that I'm enjoying these. I like these ones. I could have used a smaller kettlebell and done one arm curls, or I could have used this kettlebell without towel for 2 arm curls. So any kind of variation, break it down into a way where, you know, kind of 12 repetitions is challenging but doable. So we're gonna just focus on this then with biceps, and then we're gonna move on to the front of the shoulders next, just with some front raises. And for whatever reason, I think it might be the deadlifts. At the start of the workout, my hammies by the last round of the curls were dancing. It was actually kind of distracting. My legs were shaking like crazy. So arms are getting tired now, but just really zoning on these ones now too. Strict posture, tight core, trying to stand or stay tall at least on this one. So we're gonna go for here is 12 repetitions. So again, for block C, we're gonna do 12 repetitions at least in the curls, 12 at least on the front raise. So just to give ourselves a slight little breather here, we're going to do our floor slides, 10 repetitions. Again, trying to push the lower back into the ground. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together throughout this movement. So I want to try and keep my elbows and my knuckles close to the floor, so I'm not lifting my arms off the ground. Obviously there's a bit of elevation here, so I just don't want to graze my knuckles off the floor. I'm trying to get a stretch across the upper back and in the shoulders here. So 10 reps, slow and controlled movement. Then we'll get back into our curls, and it's 3 rounds of this one. So it's curls, front raise, and then the floor slides. So again, we've lined up the floor slides for the last round, or the last part of C, but I'm aware of the time here as well. I'm trying to keep everything to 30 minutes as much as I can. So I'm going to sacrifice the last round of the floor slides. I'm going to get myself ready to get into some of the lactate retention squats. So it's going to be the last set of squats and then we're done. So again, everyone's been kind of probably not enjoying these last few weeks. We're probably not going to do much more of them because I think just they're good for a limited kind of window. But after a while, the adaptations will start to either, or I'll get less benefit from them, I guess. So again, one thing I'm noticing as I go through the weeks in these, as I'm getting slightly more repetitions in per 30-second window. So I'm doing here is body weight. We're going to do 30 seconds of squats. Again, mimicking kind of heel sprints, so that type of intensity. Here we go. No, I'm just warming up. Just loosening out the hips. 1 rep will do. I'm stingy. I want to save my energy. So again, 30 seconds of squats, high enough pace. We're going to do a 30-second hold. And then we're going to get a 30-second break. So again, we're trying to build up lactate in the muscles. And with the hold, we're trying to trap or at least, slow down the kind of the buffering of lactate to keep it in the muscles a little longer. So we build tolerance to it over time. It's a great way of building tolerance without having to do the extra sets, put it that way. So here I go, 30 seconds. Getting the arms working as well a little bit here. It took me a couple reps to get going. Again, just about opening up the hips, but I'm getting depth, but I'm trying to make sure my hips are straight at the top. And again, guys, you're doing this, really do try and get full range of movement. So we're not kind of doing half repetitions here, kind of defeats the whole purpose. So on our hold, it doesn't have to be a perfect squat at all. We're just trying to, get a good bit of knee flexion here and even hip flexion that we're trying to trap that lactate. So all I'm doing here is taking a 30-second hold, and then from there, I'm just going to rest for 30 seconds. I believe the song I was listening to at this stage was Bat Dance by Prince. A good old 1989 classic for an 80s kid. So a 30-second break. Give me enough time to find that song on Spotify and put it on for the next 3 rounds. So I'm getting myself ready again. There's my title there. Couldn't be arsed editing it, but you get the deal. So just in case you know what we were doing, lactate retention squats. Round number 2. Bit better on the hip extension. No, it's so-and-so. Getting depth though, at least. That's good. Just want to keep that rep range consistent. Oh, there was nearly took off there. Yeah, I think I fucked up there. I think I stopped a second or 2 short. Guilty. I'll make up for it in the last round. Again, key here, we can kind of really slouch. I actually find I could never squat this low before. Not saying they're lactate retention squats did it. I've been more mindful or purposeful in my movement for the last, say, even before this all kicked off, last 6 months or so. But definitely, and I've got like knee surgeries and everything. So, I think if you actually put the time in to improve things like your mobility, you can definitely do it. Again, it's not a perfect squat by any means, but it's a lot better for me than it was. So that's halfway through. Definitely for this time frame window work sets, my legs are tolerating the lactate a lot better. Doesn't feel like it's difficult. It certainly doesn't feel anywhere near as hard as the first time I did these. So we're coming into set number 3, getting eaten alive by green flies. I don't know what's going on today. Loads of them around. Although there's a lot of lovely greenery in the background. And this new camera, you can kind of see a few of them floating around. Anyway, back to the squats. Again, I think I'm getting around 25 or so per set. Although the last one I did a few extra seconds to make up for the last round where I kind of inadvertently cheated. You only cheat yourself. Gotta do that extra work. So there's round number 3. I actually kind of like this part where you're kind of sinking right down. So again, deep breaths. Just control your breathing. Again, getting into the old music. Feeling good on these actually. The abs were the worst. Again, just careful coming up. I think that's the one thing I've noticed the last couple of times doing these, last set or two. Come up too fast, get a little bit lightheaded, so just going to be careful of that. Don't want to go face first into that rusty barbecue. Just get myself ready, last round. Then I had to rush in and get the Zoom class ready. I was kind of left everything late this morning. Yeah, there's a few more green flies to make my round. Yeah, so really lost my start time there. So I think I might have done 32 seconds. I certainly squeezed 1 or 2 extra repetitions at the end here. So again, I'm chasing that number now. I think I was kind of 25, 26. I don't want to let up in the speed. I want to keep it going all the way through to the very end. So use the arms as well to really drive yourself out of the pocket fast. Straight back in again. But again, good knee tracking. Don't come onto your toes, although I am coming to toes a little bit here. There you go. There you are. The 2. Got to show off 2 extra reps. Bluffing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm grand. My legs aren't on fire right now. So the last 30-second hold, and then we're done with this. Okay, so we've done a little bit of everything today. It was actually a nice little workout. I enjoyed it. Posterior chain, core, some arm work, and then the legs to finish. And that's just a fraction over 30 minutes. That's our workout done for today.